In this episode, we're talking about a roguelike where loot is power and your skill tree is never the same. It's Overlooting. This and more on Indie Game Arcade. Welcome back to Indie Game Arcade, a podcast that deep dives into the latest and greatest indie games. My name's Chris.
And I'm Joseph.
Joseph, I was just thinking about I don't know why, but I was thinking about like the cars that you beat up in like Street Fighter games and stuff.
Okay.
And I'm just like wondering like if it's some sort of like in-game universe. Do you think it's like an insurance fraud like scheme thing that they set up of like, they see all these guys fighting, they're like, I'm gonna park my car here. Gee, I sure hope nobody wrecks it so I can collect the money on it.
Sure hope nobody punches. Is that even covered by insurance? Like,
well, that's a good point.
Yeah, somebody just like street fought it. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I sure hope nobody shin kicks my car till it explodes.
Yeah, it's like, are Hadoukens covered in my insurance policy? I don't know.
No, probably not. You know, that's actually good. So somebody really stupid thought maybe they'd get one over on State Farm, but they were wrong. They were wrong.
State Farm does not respect Shoryukens.
No, Jake showed up and he's like, nope. Sorry. Hey, let's talk about indie games though.
Game start!
So we're going to talk about Overlooting, which released on September 1st, 2025. Developed and published by Posing Possums, which like in my mind, I just pictured a bunch of possums in like lingerie, like lounging around, eating grapes and stuff, like posing like they're being painted. I love that.
Wow. That is not what I would have pictured.
Hey, man.
Sure. Whatever floats your boat.
Welcome to my mind. Retails for $9.99, and for a quick description, this is an inventory management roguelike blending grid-based auto-battler style combat with evolving gear synergies and a randomized skill tree. That's a lot of keywords that I wrote. Oh, man. This is a game that we both got to play. I feel like you probably played quite a bit more of it. I think I played an hour and a half, 2 hours-ish of it.
So I assume you didn't beat a run.
Joseph. Hey, man. It got hard. It got hard.
I know.
Got so
that's
close.
Why I assume you didn't by doing an hour and a half.
I got so close. I died on the last boss on my second run, and it hurt my soul because I was so sure. I was so confident. You know when Han Solo tells Luke, "Don't get cocky, kid"? Well, I needed you to pop in through my window of my house, break it with a brick, stick your head in, you're bleeding from the glass. And then you say, "Hey, don't get cocky, Chris," because I got cocky and I thought I had it in the bag. And then I got annihilated on that last boss.
Yeah, that can definitely happen in this game frequently. And like some of it's skill issues, some of it's like, well, I can only prepare so much for some things. And depending on what your build was, it's like if you're relying on either extra hits or dodges or whatever, like sometimes they're just not as reliable as you think they are.
Yeah, the problem was the thing that I had built up. And we'll talk a little bit more about this and how this works. But I was so sure of myself because I built such a cool system where I had a lot of armor, I had a ton of dodge, and I had a ton of counterattack. So I was dodging everything. I was counterattacking whether I got hit or not, and I was doing a decent amount of damage. But like my survivability, because of all those other things, was so extremely high that like I was having no problems. It's always a struggle at first, like when you're first going through your run, until you get like, good gear and stuff. But like I had all this mythic gear towards the end of that run. And I was like, I am going to wipe this boss so hard, like that he is going to pop through this game screen and he's going to cry and beg And I couldn't wait. And I got in there and I got the poisons on me. I got the poisons and I didn't account for the poisons.
Yeah, the poisons will get you. I've beaten it twice, which
fuck you.
Every time you beat it, it unlocks the next like challenge level kind of thing, which
and new characters
will up to at least 3 new characters. Or sorry, not 3 new, but 3 total characters. So you've got your starting guy. You unlock this cat like rogue lady next, and then the last one is just some like shadowy kind of dude. And I have all 3 of them now. But once I got to like the 3rd difficulty level, like that's when it's like, okay, now it doesn't feel like super challenging. Like I can't do it yet, but like I had the same experience where I got to the last boss on the last run I tried of it. And I had this dagger that like insta-killed enemies once I got them to 40% health. So I was like, oh, I've got this. Like this is so easy because before that, once I got that dagger, like every time I would get an enemy to 40, it would do 9,999 damage.
Jesus
and
Christ.
I was using some of the beast form, whatever clothes or something. The rage one. Well, not even just rage, but the ones that like they hit multiple targets with every single hit.
That's right. Yeah.
So when I would do that 9,900 one, it would like do that to multiple enemies. It's just like I was just wiping the floor with things, and I just hit this boss. And it surprised me with something, and I just was not prepared for it. I didn't even have like any potions on me because I was like, who needs them? And I needed them at that point.
This guy right here needs them. Let's talk about the mechanics of this game so people understand how we're getting these builds and like what we're building to. So you start out, you like select your hero, you start out with absolutely nothing, and you immediately are fighting against like a tiny little like slime guy or something. You kill that guy, you get a treasure chest. Inside that chest is going to be one of 3 items that you can loot and then add to your backpack and then like equip or save it for later. So that what you're doing essentially is you are each battle that you win, you are getting gear, and that gear can be upgraded through finding like gear. So if I get 2 of the exact same like item, you can merge those and like it will scale up in what it does, whether that's like armor or some of the stuff we were talking about, like counterattack, or maybe a weapon that does poison damage. Like those things will upgrade as you combine those. Those do have a cap on them though. Like you can only do that like 3 times.
Up to 3 times, yeah. And the real appeal for me is armor set bonuses. I love armor set bonuses, and that is such a cool thing to toy around with. And it's called overlooting because you are getting so much loot every single time. It won't always be what you want. There's a lot of RNG to it, but like you have a lot of variety. So like up to, I think like the max you can get is like I don't know, like the one that I've seen, I think that takes the most is like, oh, I need to have 6 pieces of this set to unlock this thing. And that's like, okay, that's a lot. So I won't be able to build anything else. But then after you beat the boss of each section, it gives you these like +1 bonus to 2 different armor sets. You get 3 different choices. Usually it's one that you are kind of have the most gear of, at least as one of your choices. And so then it's like, okay, cool. Now I only need 5 to do that. So I have 2 free slots basically to like do a cross build with some other armor set, because it doesn't really like benefit me too much to have like a full set of the same armor if I've already got all the bonuses, unless like I just have like they just have really good stats on them or something. So that's where it gets kind of creative, in that you are mixing and matching armor sets to try to find like a really cool build. And you'll feel like super powerful sometimes, but then you'll be immediately put in your place by an enemy that is ready for that or doesn't care about your double attack or something. Yeah, that's when it starts to get like, okay, I need to think around this a little bit more.
Yeah. One of the best ways to describe like the variety of things is to think about like if you were familiar with the Diablo loot system, it's very similar to that in that all of the different like the armor and weapons, and that's all that you're looting. So you're not looting, like other items. There's no trash stuff. I mean, eventually armor is going to become trash to you because you've just got so much stuff and you only have so much room. And there is potions, but you're not looting potions. Somebody will give you potions at some point.
He just comes by and just gives you a couple potions.
He just throws 2 potions at you and walks off, and you never know why or what his name is. He doesn't even talk to you. He just throws potions on the ground at your feet. And you're like, thanks, I guess. But think about like those and like the rarities that come in there. So you got like your white common, you've got your green uncommon, your blue rares, you've got your purples, you've got your legendaries.
Your purple epic,
then you got your
orange legendary, and then your red mythic.
Mythic, yeah. So obviously it's like, every time you go up in rarity, it's like something that's obviously going to have like more stat bonuses. And there is a lot of stats in this game, like so many stats, and they are wildly different. So like you can do so many different builds because, especially with the weapons and stuff, because you could do, builds with like, let's say a sword or something like that is very strength focused, or like I liked, which was my counterattack thing. That was fantastic. But then there's like a completely different thing where you could have like a staff and it is very like, kind of like magic focused sort of attacks and stuff.
Mana burst is awesome.
Yes.
So when you have magic skills or your staff and you start using or building towards magic stuff, it's like every hit you do will also do like bonus like magic damage to an enemy. And that is where your mana burst, depending on how what percentage it is, can really do a ton of damage in addition to your regular hit.
Yeah.
So everything is viable. It just depends on what you're trying to build towards, really. Like there's one called Swiftness, which is essentially multiple hits.
Good. Yes.
I love Swiftness. It's great. And Swiftness often combines with dodge and stuff. So it's like really nice to just like be doing multi attacks on an enemy before they even get to act. Sometimes just killing them before they get to attack. And that's, it's just, there's some really satisfying builds that at least I've gone through so far. And the simplicity of it is what keeps me like coming back for more. It's just one of those I can drop in, try to get around in, fail or succeed. I feel okay just like stopping for now and being like, okay, well, that was pretty cool. I never feel like super like, oh, I was robbed or anything. It's like, oh, no, I saw that coming.
Well, that's one of the things that like I forgot to mention with that build I was talking about that got me so cocky was I talked about my dodge was really high. So I wasn't getting hit very often. I had counterattack. So even if, and my counterattack was very high. So like the counterattack isn't like you counterattack every time. It's a percentage. But the percentage of it, like mine was like, I think the total ended up being close to 60. So it was very, very high. So more likely than not, if someone attacked me, I was going to attack back. My swiftness was also high. So I was doing 3 attacks. So it's like I could get hit for 0 damage and then do 3 attacks and just wipe a dude out. So like, that's why I was just like, oh man, like this is going to be a breeze. This is going to be so easy. Like I never got even close to 50% health until that final boss and then just died. So I was so sad. But like that'll show you too, like if you aren't prepared for like everything, it doesn't really matter what your build is if you're not like thinking strategic enough about it. Because I should have seen it coming because a couple matches before that, like right before him, you were getting against like a bunch of the big snake dudes that do a lot of poison. And I did start noticing, I'm like, ooh, that poison stuff is really ticking me down a little bit. And the thing is, if I had a higher amount of damage with those like swift attacks and stuff, I would have been okay and I would have killed him before the poison got me. But because my damage output wasn't high enough, the poison got me first, and that's what did me in. So it's kind of like one of those things of, when I first noticed it, I should have started prioritizing the amount of damage I did, and I didn't do that. So it's like one of those things of like, oh man, I understand why I died. That sucks.
Yeah. There's also, I don't think we've mentioned yet, a skill tree. Like it's a very small and simple skill tree over to the right of your screen.
Yeah, it's powerful though.
Though some of those moves can be so powerful, and it's really cool. Like one that I really liked with the cat girl that I grabbed was when I was building towards critical attacks, and it was, I think, on the second rung of the tree. There's only like 3 different sections. You get 3 choices. You choose 1 out of 3 on each of the tiers, and there's 3 tiers total. So you have 3 extra skills, but those skills can really like make or break your gameplay. So with her, I had one that I was building towards critical strike, so my critical strike was already pretty high, and I was confident I was going to get them off most of the time. The skill said, okay, this will add, I think, 40% extra critical strike chance. But it will make my regular attacks do like 50% less damage, or if I don't critical strike. But I'm like, okay, well, I have so much critical strike already that 40% will carry me up to 100% critical strike chance. So I'm like, I'm not going to miss. And so that's where it was like, I was critical hitting every single time. And I had some other bonus stuff that was like feeding into like when I critical hit, like these other things happen. And so it was like a really cool build, just watching it like flow. And those skills that you get to choose on that tree are randomized. Like you have like a really large set of skills that you can unlock over time. And you don't get to choose which 3 or which 9 total are showing on your skill tree. You just have to, work with what you've got. And I appreciate that, because I don't want to have like a choice paralysis on these things. I need to be like only given a few choices so that I have to make like an educated decision under pressure versus having all the choices in the world.
Well, that too. And it also prevents metagaming in that way, because if it was a static skill tree, then, everything would just be full of like people saying, oh, well, this is the best build. You got to do this, and, take this skill. And it's like, because the skill tree is randomized and you're reliant on RNG, you're just having to take like, whenever you get a choice of choosing 3, you just have to choose the best one for the current situation and the current build you're doing. And then just see, once the next 3 unlock, which one of those is the next best one. And yeah, I love that. One of my favorite ones, and like we said, these are extremely powerful, which is really good and really smart, considering that you only get 3 total to apply to your character. But one of the ones I got that I liked a lot was that any damage I took was done right back to the person that did the damage against me. So if like, somebody hit me for like some of those guys, as they like go up or something, will do like 16 damage or something. And, sometimes that gets absorbed by your armor. So it's not really, doing much to you, but like they do 16 damage, then they immediately take 16 damage. And that really helps. That helps a lot. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It was really cool. It's like one of those games that, for like on the surface, and as you start like playing at first, it seems extremely, extremely simple. It seems deceptively simple, and you're like, how is this going to be a game that's going to pull me in and keep me playing? And it is, as you go in, then you start kind of understanding just how complicated the game can be. And it can be as complicated really as you want it to be. So if you want to go in and just be like, yeah, I'll take this. Oh, this one looks better. I'll take this. This one looks better. I'll take this. You can do that. You're probably not going to finish the run, but you might still have a good time. And like you, in a meta way, regardless, you're getting a little bit of like XP, like outside of that. And then that character will be able to rank up and stuff, for your next run. But if you really pay attention and start thinking about like, okay, well, I've only got this gear, and this gear so far. What is the best kind of build I can go based off what I've got so far? And just kind of going through that in your head, that is the stuff that's going to make you win the round or win the run. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, really satisfying bite-sized little game that I think can... has a lot of legs to it because of how much variety there is and how many different builds there are. Like, and as far as I know, there's like newer armor that you're just kind of randomly unlocking too. Like, I know at one point I started unlocking this like pirate armor. Like, where did that even come from? I never saw any of that, but now it's like on my my choice list like almost every time in some way, but I still haven't really utilized it. I think what the bonuses on that one do is like it gives you an extra chance at getting treasure chest or something.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's just so many different ways to play this game and approach it, and I think that's the real appeal to it, as simple as it looks on the surface.
Yeah, it's a weird blend in a way of, it reminds me a little bit of Backpack Hero, but also a little bit of He Is Coming. Taking like some cues, like I would say some of the best parts of both of those games and combining it.
Definitely He Is Coming because of the skills and or the way the items and the options between what items you have equipped at one time are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say like, I mean, out of like the 3 games, like I think that I've enjoyed this one the most so far. Like this is definitely one that I will be going back to and playing more of. Like it's one that you can jump in, start a run, and thankfully you can come back to it. So like if you have to put it on pause, you can, which is great, especially for, you know, dads who have to chase a toddler every 5 minutes. Yeah, this gets like a huge recommendation from me. I had such a good time with it, and like I can't wait to play more.
Yeah, same. Really surprisingly fun game. It was one that I was just going to kind of pass over, and I kind of picked it up on a whim because I had watched like another video of someone else playing. I was like, this looks pretty cool. It's like something I'd like. And yeah, I got sucked into it for sure.
Yeah, and you sucked me into it.
Yes.
Power up!
Hey, if you're enjoying this episode so far, do us a favor and throw us a like, a follow, share the episode or the podcast with folks who love indie games so we can get more of these game recommendations out there and support indie game devs. We also have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/nerdsloth where you can catch us playing more indie games or check out our top 5 and top 10 series for even more indie game recommendations because we believe there's an indie game out there for everyone.
Combo!
Before we start talking about some other indie games we've been playing, I just wanted to note real quick that I've noticed whenever I'm doing like the break there, whenever I say so we can get more of these game recommendations out there. So I'm like a big hand talker. I use my hands for everything. But I've noticed the last few times we've recorded, I do a salute when I do that for some reason. Like when I say that specific line, I do a 1-finger salute with my index finger. And I don't know why I do that, but that's become a
We're not
thing.
even on video. That's really weird.
Yeah, I know. But like eventually when we're on video, people will see me do the salute.
Oh boy.
So I just wanted you all to know that that's happening. There's a salute. But now let's talk about some other indie games we've been playing. Joseph, you love cute horror-tinged stories, right? As do I.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like Tim Burton films like Corpse Bride, Nightmare Before Christmas, Frankenweenie. So somebody made a game specifically for that kind of vibe. That is Gloomy Eyes. It's a puzzle adventure game where you switch between 2 characters, Nina, who's looking for friendship and wanting to escape the machinations of her zealot-like uncle, and then Gloomy, cute little zombie who is misunderstood and unable to walk into any sorts of light. This was one that I had brought up a few weeks ago that I was really excited for coming out. I say a few weeks ago, it was literally probably the last, it was like 2 episodes ago, I think. You are doing lots of environmental puzzle solving while like a narrator provides you with story as you progress. The puzzle designs and like the way the game is laid out remind me a little bit of, just in a weird way, Fez. And like, I think anyone's going to look at this and be like, what the hell are you talking about? Because no, but it's kind of because like everything is like this big sort of like diorama sort of thing. And you're like able to move around it in like full 3D space. Like you can rotate your camera like all the way around it in like all 4, viewpoints at different times to like do all the things to, solve these environmental puzzles. And that way it did remind me of Fez a little bit. The big thing about this game, though, really is the aesthetics of it. The Tim Burton kind of like look to everything is just, they nailed it. It looks amazing. It feels like you were just hanging out in one of his films. And like even just the NPCs that are sitting around doing nothing feel like they have so much personality because of the way they're animated and the way they move and the way they look. It just really has this very lived-in world kind of feel to it. I think I mentioned before, this is an adaptation of a VR animated short film that I would also recommend. It's really cool. So if you love this style of light horror with like that semi-family friendly tone and heartfelt story, you got to check this one out. Released on September 12th. As of recording that is tomorrow. But if you're listening to this, it's already out. So I don't have a price for you just yet. But yeah, oh man, I am kind of in love with this one, man. I really am.
This might be one you actually finish.
I might actually finish a game. I might.
It looks super cute for sure.
Oh man.
Maybe a little too on the casual side for me, but TBD.
Yeah, like it is not a difficult game at all. You are here for the story and you're here for the aesthetic. Like, in all honesty, it is the idea of you getting to play through and like, you know, I feel bad constantly. I don't feel too bad constantly comparing it to a Tim Burton film. But like, that's literally what their inspiration was. And they even say that like on the page and stuff for this game. This feels like you are getting to play through a Tim Burton film. That's literally kind of the point of the game. And I love that because that is one of my like favorite aesthetics out there. I've said that a billion times. So I am 100% in. I can't recommend this more. Yeah.
I would watch a movie. Like maybe I'll watch that short. Actually,
you should watch the short film. Yeah.
It's
really cool. Like I need a Gloomy pop figure. So if someone could make Gloomy, or even if he's not a pop figure, just make me a little Gloomy. Send it to me. I need Gloomy.
I mean, she basically looks like a pop figure already with the pupilless eyes. Yeah.
I need him. Next game I got to play a bit of, like, I talked to you a little bit about this before, and like I want us to circle back on this in the future, possibly for like a bigger spotlight. So we'll see though. This is Shape of Dreams, which is an action RPG with some MOBA-like controls and sensibilities where you pick a hero, you're dropped into this dream world, going to different nodes for battles and events and collecting memories. Memories are basically like what they're calling your attacks and stuff in this game. What's interesting about those, you can swap those around on your toolbar at any time, and you're also picking up these essence gems with which grant different effects to your memories. And each memory can hold up to 3 of these essence gems at once. And those can also be moved around at any time. So you can constantly change how your character plays by mixing and matching these things to experiment with seeing what kind of synergies and combos that you can come up with and like what kind of effects that they will have with your attacks. There's several characters you can choose from, of course, various difficulty settings, and it supports up to 4 players for co-op, which is really, really cool. I didn't play it co-op because I have no friends, but if I had friends, I would try it co-op because it would be really cool. Gameplay feels really good. Controls are super tight, which is definitely needed because your dodge window is very, very small with some of these enemies, especially the bosses. But it feels fair. Like if you die, it definitely feels like a case of you did not dodge when you needed to dodge, rather than feeling underpowered at all. And it looks gorgeous. We ranted about how beautiful this looked last week when you found this and brought this as something that you were looking forward to. Man, it does look good. And like when you get in there, like the screenshots and stuff didn't do it justice. Like on the Steam page, like it is gorgeous when you get in that game, man. Especially when you see all the like elemental effects and stuff from the attacks and everything too. It is really cool.
Yeah, I'm really curious to play this one, mainly because I don't know how it would, I guess, how a MOBA roguelike would feel. I've never really thought about that, and I haven't played a MOBA in so long. Not since the last one I played, I think, was the Pokemon, whatever that one was, and that came out years ago now.
And well, here's the thing too, like with the MOBA thing, I feel like that's been emphasized way more than it should be. I don't see like I guess I see a little bit of MOBA influence to a degree, but I don't think that is like the big selling point on it. Like to me, this feels more akin to like other action RPGs like Hades or something than it does to like a MOBA that I've played.
If you remember like the terminology, like jungling, like where you are just going out and beating enemies to power up before you face like the real people, when your team like initially starts the game out, does it feel kind of like that? Like when you're out kind of getting your jungling thing going?
No, it didn't feel like that to me, honestly. So like the progression of this thing is, I mean, you are jumping from node to node, battling things to, power up to essentially to get memories, right? And to get those essence gems to power those up. And also like progressing the story a little bit. In addition to that too, I mean like all going along the path, you're selecting that gets to like a boss, right? So in a way, I mean, yeah, you got to power up and stuff, but it's not like, with what I played, I didn't have any instance of like being in a level, having to power up until a boss shows up or something. Like that wasn't present. There is something though that was kind of interesting, which is that like, if you spend like too long on certain nodes, like there is like these hunters, like in a way of like, think back to when we played Wild Bastards? The space cowboy
the space
thing?
one. Yeah.
Is that the name?
Yep, I think so.
Where they had those people that would eventually show up and start following like the nodes and stuff that you were going to. So you have something like that here too, where something is sort of chasing you along your path. And you could like choose to fight them as well. It's just going to be like a very, very hard battle. But yeah, I'm not seeing the MOBA part of this, at least yet. Maybe that will come in more during like co-op or something, but so far I'm just not really seeing it.
I wonder if it's just like the way the attacks lay out, because as I'm seeing someone like stretching like a sword out, like that kind of reminds me of the way that the attack paths work in a MOBA. So maybe it's just loosely based on how your actions are, your inputs go. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of my thought too, was that, and then maybe just, I don't know, maybe the idea of the character selection as well to a degree. But honestly, that's about it from what I feel, which is fine with me, because I don't think like the MOBA part wasn't really the selling point for me, because I'm just not a big MOBA fan in the first place. So like just getting in and playing the game a little bit really is what made me be like, no, there's something here. We need to come back to this and try it some more.
Yeah, it is already in my cart.
I knew it.
So I'm just waiting to buy it.
All right.
But it's been in my cart since like last week. I've been ready to, or since it came out actually. What day was that? Whenever. I've been ready to buy it. I just hadn't settled on it yet.
You just have not stopped window shopping from last week.
No, not yet. I'll get there. The one game that I played other than, the main one is that Katanaut game that I was talking about.
Oh,
which
yeah.
Is like the side-scrolling, pixelated kind of cosmic horror. Like it's
cosmic horror ninja
you're like
game.
a space
samurai.
Ninja. Yeah. Or a space samurai, something. And it's pretty cool. Like so far, like I died in the first boss, but it's mainly because like I guess I just wasn't like taking advantage of my weapon skill well enough, because it was hard for me to prepare for the boss with how easy it was to get to that boss after like 2 levels or so of fighting through enemies.
Yeah.
Only because like you can tear through enemies very quickly with your katana and or gun or whatever you're using, and you're getting these skills that you're upgrading, and obviously items that you can get and upgrade and stuff. So it was just like a different experience facing that boss as opposed to all the regular little mobs that I was tearing through to get to him. So it was mainly me being unprepared. I wouldn't blame the game for that, but I did enjoy what I played of it. I was just playing the demo, so I bet after that boss, that would be the end of the demo anyway. But it was a pretty satisfying experience so far. So it was exactly what I expected it to be, just looking at the trailers of it.
Did it feel more on the like the horror side of things, or more on the like kind of just straight up like action side of things as far as genre?
I would say if it took anything from like the horror side, it would just be the the gore of it all. Like you'll just see like bodies like hanging from the walls. There are rooms that are literally just covered in blood. Everything looks like a little disgusting. It's like, yeah, just like the enemies are, I don't think they're zombies, but they're just like some kind of weird space. Like it almost looks like a space fungus kind of mutation deal. But yeah, everything just looks like off and like has some kind of thing like aspects to them of like just weird body horror. So yeah, but this is all in like pixelated graphics, so it's like nothing's obviously super graphic, but you at least get the idea of what these things look like and how disturbing they are.
Cool. It sounds cool.
Like gameplay wise, it's very fast paced. So you are dodge rolling, you're slashing enemies with your katana or whatever weapon you have equipped. And the skills just make it pretty seamless to just kind of like tear through stuff as long as you're paying attention. I only have the experience with the one boss, so I don't know how hard it gets, but so far so good.
Nice.
And it's like $14.39 right now on sale until September 24th.
Oh yeah, that's a long sale.
Final round.
All right, let's talk about some upcoming indie games we're excited about. Here's one that doesn't have a release date quite yet. It does have a demo out. It's a pretty simple life sim out in the woods. You're catching fish, foraging for food, crafting items, building shelters. Oh, and you're Bigfoot. So it's called Bigfoot Life. And you are Bigfoot. You're doing all these things while you're trying to avoid being caught by hunters who are trying to take your photograph. You also get like all kinds of other skills as well. Like you're able to heal injured animals, which is just adorable. Why wouldn't Bigfoot be the doctor of the woods? You get like a heat vision kind of thing. I don't know like what they're calling it, but I just saw this like in the trailer where it seems like some sort of heat vision that you can turn on. And you can travel through magical portals, like a real good Bigfoot does, which is why we can never get a dang good photo of him because he's always going through those purple portals.
Portal traveling. Yeah.
He's teleporting away. But yeah, it just looks really fun. Like just a silly, fun kind of game that I'm interested in playing it. I think it'll be fun. So just want to throw that one out there. The other game I wanted to bring up is called Northwind. This is coming into early access on the 22nd. This is a monster hunting roguelike deck builder where you do a lot of card crafting for tons of unique combos. It also talks about using a mana system that's inspired by Magic the Gathering, and then also a tug of war style of combat. And I'm not going to lie, I don't know what they mean by that, but I'm intrigued to find out what that means. So this is one that I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on for its release and to see what people start saying about it during early access. And if I get a chance to try it out during its early access, I'm going to do that and kind of see how it goes.
The one I wanted to talk about is one that I didn't really see any updates on or anything. And I guess I had just had it on my wish list when it had either come out in early access or I had seen something about it at one point. I honestly have no idea, but it just like in my email, I'll get Steam emails me when games are released that are on my wish list. And it was just like, hey, Eternal Rising was just released. And I was like, what the hell is that? And so I look at it and it looks like it came out on September 10th. It is a bullet hell action roguelike. Apparently, at least according to its description, brutally difficult or a brutal roguelike bullet hell where survival means constant evolution. So that sounds appealing to me. And the reality of it is it's like a really zoomed out kind of perspective. You are a very small character on the screen and you're just kind of waylaying on enemies with your whatever weapons you have, dodging all the bullets, everything. Like it's the same kind of like formula as a lot of games that I do enjoy. One that comes to mind is like Nuclear Throne, and that's like a classic one at this point. But I used to love playing that game, and so I just haven't. Even though I've played like a ton of different versions of this type of game, like there's always something appealing about it to me because every single one has been really fun for at least the time I'd been playing it. So this is just another one that I wanted to at least try out and see how it goes. it's like a $5 game right now. So I'm sure that it's probably a very bite-sized experience, but that doesn't mean that the quality's not there, because it does look really fun.
Yeah, I like the pixel art of it. It looks really good. I like the UI too. The UI is super clean and minimal, which is really nice.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. No, I like that. And like, man, I love bite-sized games. Like the small games have a very, very good place for me. So that's why like Kill the Music was really good, because it was a small bite-sized thing. Like it doesn't take long to get through and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, that was such a great game. I really enjoyed that one too.
Exactly. So yeah, man, that's cool. This looks like a good one. So I'm glad you brought that up. I just put it on my wish list as well.
Sweet. I assume I'll pick it up at some point.
All of a sudden he's just like, cart.
Yeah. $5. Can't turn that down.
Yeah. Speaking of not turning things down, no, this doesn't segue at all.
Game over.
If you had a good time listening to this episode, stick around for the bumper to learn how you can help support the show and all the things we do here at Nerd Sloth Creative. You can also check the show notes for our link tree, which will take you to our social media, Discord, merch store, and all the other cool stuff. But get in touch with us and let us know what indie games you're playing and help us elevate these games so we can help support indie devs. But that's game over for us. My name's Chris.
And I'm Joseph.
And we'll continue on the next episode.
Continue.
Indie Game Arcade is recorded and produced by Nerd Sloth Creative. If you're looking for more gaming content, head over to youtube.com/nerdsloth for indie game let's plays and recommendations. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/nerdsloth, where you can select a pledge and receive access to hundreds of hours of bonus content from everything at Nerd Sloth Creative. If you're an indie game developer and would like us to review your game or explore other opportunities, send an email to nerdslothcreative@gmail.com with the subject line Indie Game Arcade. Thanks for listening, and keep supporting indie game devs.